Welcome to the course of Internet of Things, in short IoT. In today's class, we are going to learn a new topic called radio frequency identification, in short RFID. So, this particular RFID technology uses electromagnetic fields which are automatically identify or track tags attached to the objects. Okay, so I will be explaining this technology, RFID technology, much more clear in various segments as well. So, coming to the short form RFID, you might have already heard this RFID technology or RFID. Generally, RFID, abbreviation of RFID is radio frequency identification. So, it is also called as radio frequency identification device. So this is a purely wireless communications which uses electromagnetic or electrostatic coupling, and it also uses radio frequencies in order to transfer the data from the tag to the reader. Okay, so I will be explaining what actually does it contains, how the technology will be, how it can be used in various applications. Okay, what are the different types of RFID technologies we are going to see now. See here. So if you see this particular general block diagram, we need to come from the right to the left. So if you see towards your right, so here we have an radio frequency identification tag. So this is nothing but it looks like a small credit card sized ID card, okay, which will be having an inbuilt small around 1 MB, very minute size of memory chip, which will be holding a 10-digit unique ID code. Okay, so this tag, which holds that particular ID code, can be read or it can be read by this particular RFID reader, and based on which you can access or make multiple applications. So see here. Now, this is an RFID tag, and this tag holds the data, and this will be whenever this particular RFID tag is brought near this particular RFID reader. So, this block is an RFID reader, and this RFID reader will be having a reader antenna. Okay. So, whenever this tag comes near the reader antenna or the RFID reader, okay, due to the electromagnetic waves, or this particular RFID tags contain an electromagnetic coil through which it gets powered up when it brought near the RFID reader, and the data which is present in the RFID tag will be read by this particular RFID reader. Okay, so it goes there. Now, whatever the data is taken by this RFID reader, that particular RFID reader again stores that particular data into a database system. Okay, or vice versa. So this is a general basic idea of an RFID technology, which contains an RFID tag and RFID reader, and this reader can be attached to a microcontroller or a database system in order to store or retrieve the data. Now, coming to the types of RFIDs. So the first type of RFID, based on the frequencies, we have an ultra high frequency RFID. So coming to the frequency of it, it will be around 902 to 928 megahertz. Okay, and it will be wireless communication, which use purely RFID technology. Coming to this high frequency RFID, so its operating frequency is like 13.56 megahertz. So mostly this particular technology is used in like credit cards, books, or an ID cards, which is used for door opening, all those kind of short range application they are will use. Coming to the passive RFID, these are the main things. One is passive RFID, another one is active RFID. You need to know the difference between these two. Okay, so passive RFIDs are majorly based on a short range communication, or it can be called as a short range communication, which contains an RFID tag and a RFID reader. And whenever a tag is almost brought near to the RFID reader with very less gap, or we can say it as a centimeter distance. Okay, So the RFID tags automatically gets powered up using the electromagnetic coil or the electromagnetic field, and it emits RFID signal or radio frequency signal, through which the data present in the tag will be transmitted to the reader, and the reader reads it and it saves in some sort of database. Okay. So for this particular RFID, the tag does not require any kind of power supply. Whenever it brought near to the reader, automatically it gets powered up, and the frequency band will be like, for a low frequency passive RFID, the frequency will be like 125 to 134 kilohertz, and for a high frequency it will be around 13.56 megahertz, and for ultra high frequency, so it is like, as you see, 856 megahertz to 960 megahertz. So these are some of the features of it. It does not need any power. It is used for tracking the inventory. It has, as I've already said, it has an unique identification number. So it is sensitive for interface, and it can also be called as a semi-passive RFID. Okay. Coming to the active RFID. So it's unlike passive RFID. Active RFID is used for a larger distance communications, and this tag also will be holding some sort of data, 10 digit. But here this RFID tags will be powered up by a power supply. So it can be a solar, or it can be a battery powered, or it can be anything. Okay. So through which the RFID tags keeps on transmitting the or emitting the radio frequency signal and transmits the data. Okay. So whenever the RFID reader uh, gets in contact with the signal of the RFID tag or the RF tags, okay, so the data will be transferred from the tag to the reader. Okay. So coming to this, as I've said, it is used for a large distance. It has an unique identification number, so it can be interfaced with several sensors, and generally these active RFID tags are used for like detecting the speed zones, or detecting the alerting the driver about the speed limits. All these kind of applications are used. Okay. So this is an application where we are using an RFID technology. If you see over here, an RFID tag is communicated through an RFID reader, which is connected to an Arduino, and it is connected through GSM, LCD, and some motor and all those things. So it generally, if you see the working principle of any RFID, so it performs AIDC function. So what is AIDC here? AIDC is automatic identification and data capture technology. So it performs object identification and collection, and not only that, it also map the data. So as we have already discussed about the tag and reader, how they work, right? So in the same way, the principle also works. So coming to the working of RFID systems, we have already seen all these things. And types of RFIDs, we have already seen the active tags, passive tags, and all those things based on the frequencies also. And we have some semi-passive tags. Okay, small, but you can also go through all these things. And features of RFID, of course, they come with small microcircuits and along with the antennas, and they are discussing about the tags, which I have already discussed. Okay. Coming to the RFID standards, they follow ISO 13443, and the operating frequencies will be, we have already seen several operating frequencies, and the components operating frequency will be like 13.56 megahertz. So the power consumption will be 10 milliwatts, and data will be transmitted like in 100 kbps. Okay. And the operating working distance. So the basic distance or the minimum distance can be 1 centimeter, and the maximum can be 1 kilometer also. But if you see the standards, it's on an average at 10 centimeters will be working fine for RFID technology. And they also follow ISO 15693 and comes with this particular uh, operating frequencies, and we have already seen all these things. Okay. Coming to the frequency bands, low frequency, we have high frequency, ultra high frequency, micro frequency, all we have seen. Coming to the challenges of RFID, cost, interference, privacy, standardization. Okay, all this comes under the challenges of an RFID. And coming to the applications of RFID, so mainly applications of RFID is used in inventory management, asset tracking, like you can track the location or the status, or it can also be used for an supply chain management, access control, retail, healthcare, whatnot. Okay, you might have already seen the ID cards access, such kind of applications, right? Or in all those things, this kind of RFID technology has been involved. Coming to the advantages of RFID, we can use it for an automation. Accuracy is more, real-time data, durability, security, all this comes into the picture of an advantages of RFID. And coming to the disadvantages, so in order to use that, it take more time to program these particular RFID devices. Okay, so it can be intercepted easily, and we have there are 2 or 3 layers for an ordinary household foil, something like that. So there are parallelly disadvantages to that. Okay. So anybody can access this particular data with a minimum tinkering of the circuit board or something like that. And coming to the active RFID, so compared to the passive RFID technology, active RFID is much more costlier. And this is the conclusion where we can conclude that as it has parallelly both advantages and disadvantages, mainly RFID technology, which is a wireless technology for short distances and long distances, and mainly used for various useful applications like inventory tracking, asset management, and all those things comes into the picture. Okay, so RFID technology is very much useful in these kind of IoT applications as well. Thank you.